It's a Too Many Hats podcast with your host with the most, Tony and Lavelle, every morning from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. We also have Queen Watkins with Clock Dead P. Tune in with us and have a great time. Let's talk about it right here. Too Many Hats podcast.
Top of the morning to you, my good people. Happy Wednesday, Hump Day Wednesday, man. It's a beautiful day in your neighborhood, man. It's your host with the most, Tony Mays, with our special guest, Mr. Marcus Young, real estate extraordinaire.
Good
What's
morning.
going on, brother?
Not
And man,
much.
look, we've been. This been good, bro. Like it's been an overwhelming response of how good this topic has been. And shout out to Phyllis Hill for just asking the question and provoking this topic, man. So shout out to Phyllis, man, for making it come
Yes.
to fruition. Um, so if you haven't been on the last couple of days, we've been talking about what does it mean to be unequally yoked, and we've come up with some good stuff, bro. Some really good stuff as it pertains to being equally or unequally yoked. And I think people kind of confuse being equally yoked with what did we say yesterday? Just kind of having prerequisites or having
I mean, we talked about how people just go off the appearance too.
yeah, like you can't so unequally yoked is not really looking at somebody saying, oh, they don't dress like I wouldn't date them because I don't like what they wear.
Right.
It's just a matter of what something you like, or it ain't got nothing to do with being yoked or unequally yoked.
Mhm.
So
And-
a yoke can refer to several things, but most commonly it means a wooden frame or a bar that joins two draft animals like oxen together at the neck to enable them to pull a load or plow in unison.
Mhm.
So when you think, and matter of fact, let me show you what the yoke look like for those who may have not been here. This is what they're referring to. So this thing keeps them in alignment, keeps them in unison, so they can walk in unison. So it joins them together. So when we talk about as it relates to relationships being equally or unequally yoked, we're talking about being aligned or unaligned, joined in partnership or not, or basically heading in the wrong direction. When you got two people that's basically going in two different directions, they are unequally yoked. And most of the time this refers to when most people talk about unequally yoked, it refers to the religious context, and particularly Christianity, where you talk about relationships, often marriage, where two individuals have fundamental differences in their core beliefs and values. We talked a lot about core beliefs and values over the last couple of days, especially regarding their faith. And it originates from the biblical passage in Corinthians. I'm tripping. 6 and 14, which uses the metaphor that we talked about right here, the oxen, or the two animals um, of unequal strength pulling the plow together. And so uh, it's very important that when you to understand being good morning, Joseph, being unequally yoked or equally yoked, that you understand where it derived from, what it kind of pertains to, and you know how do we become equally or unequally yoked. And I think good morning, Phyllis. A shout out again to Phyllis, man, for coming up with this topic, man. But I
Another,
think this refers to a lot, or to understand whether or not you're equally or unequally yoked in a relationship. You really have to look at your relationship, look at your core beliefs, your values, and see where you guys line up. If you guys are heading, good morning, Zoe. If you guys are heading down the right direction, you guys are going in a different direction, as it pertains to what every aspect of your relationship, not just the faith aspects of it. I think that's essential. But there are other aspects, as we learned the last couple of days. Like, you can be aligned with your mate as it pertains to your Christianity or your spirituality. You can be aligned with your mate as it relates to your finances, but you can be out of line with your mate as it relates to your sexual prowess.
yeah, yeah.
So,
It's something, Tony. It was something you said yesterday too that you just reminded me of. You said when you was younger, when you and Monica were just together, how like you go see a car, you go buy it, and might go buy another one, might go get another one. But you know what? You and Monica was separate in that aspect, but y'all needed each other. So you could say that was like technically unequally yoked.
Well, it was,
But
but
that
it
was a
was
help. That's a good thing, though. You know how they say opposites attract,
so
but we need that assistance.
we were definitely unequally yoked in that area. I could tell you, we were unequally yoked in that area. But I respected her counsel enough to say we can't keep going that route. We can't keep doing that, putting ourselves in a hole and dig, because like I told you guys, I came from a situation where I had money, I could go and buy it, and when it wouldn't be no issue. But then when I no longer did that, the rules changed. But I was still living in the fantasy world. And it hadn't caught up, the reality part hadn't caught up with me yet. And she was the reality check. She was saying, hey, bro, you ain't doing that no more unless you doing some stuff I don't know and you shouldn't be doing.
But Lavelle said that's where that help meet comes in.
Yeah.
And you work together. And I'm sure there's areas that you were stronger than she was. You know what I mean? So, so some ways you could be different, but that doesn't mean you're unequally yoked.
That doesn't mean you're unequally yoked.
Yeah.
Phyllis says, how many, good morning again, Zoe. Phyllis says, how many relationships have been overlooked because early on you are unequally yoked?
Right.
Ooh, man. I can't even answer that, Phyllis, because I'm pretty sure, and I know that was probably a rhetorical question. But I imagine it's probably a lot of them. It's a lot of them because they don't really understand, that hey, we're on two different wavelengths as it relates to this particular thought. And but again, that could be just maturity, their level of maturity, and they haven't arrived from a personal growth standpoint yet. I often tell this story. When I met my wife, I was not like, I was doing my own thing. And if she had looked at me and said, nah, I know what you're about. I already see what you're about. I ain't with it. Right? Cause she knew right then, like maybe, and then and I'm this hypothetical speaking. I'm not saying this was a thought process because clearly it wasn't her thought process, but what if it was? What if she was on the other side of the spectrum, but she was like, I like the bad boy. I'm drawn to the bad boy because some women are. So, but it was just the bad boy mantra. It wasn't necessarily the bad boy mentality, if that makes sense.
It does. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah. Where you can say a facade, whatever, but it was, whatever it was, it didn't push her away. It attracted her. But for some women, that would have been like, nah, that I don't roll that way. You know what I'm saying? But what if Monica had been that woman? Man, she could have missed out on 33 years of bliss and happiness. So I do think, Phyllis, that there are a lot of people that miss the mark because they're not patient. They don't understand that grace should be given. That we have to learn together, grow together. They don't, or they're not willing to take that chance. Now, I'm not telling you to be a fool, because there are some relationships that when you enter in right off the rip, you be like, them some bad signs.
Yes, there you go. That's
You
what I
know,
was gonna say.
where you should be saying, no, I ain't even finna take
Let's
this
go
chance.
rob. Let's go rob this store this weekend.
Right,
That'd be
right.
fun.
Like Andrea Douglas said the other day when she was on, she said it took her 5 years to wake up and see that this dude was not headed in the same direction that she was headed, and she wasted, where she felt like she wasted 5 years of her life. But for me, you know, I took it as though, hey, that was 5 years of learning that you learned that you ain't gonna go that route no more, because you seen all the signs before.
Yeah.
And
They got
if you run into that same situation again, what's gonna happen, Mark?
come on.
You're gonna run away from it.
Yep, you've seen it. And then they
Yeah,
got this thing that's called deal breakers. You know, and it should be, when you think of a deal breaker, it should be whether or not the person believes in God, meaning Jesus,
right.
or if they out here believing in, you know, energies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, it ain't gonna blend, because that's gonna affect the rest of your life.
Well, and then I think too, it depends on where you are, because like young folk, you know, now if you 50 and he 50, and he telling you he believe in crystals and clinging
Yeah.
chimes, and you know,
Right.
then you know, you might just say, you know, I'm good.
Let me see
You
your
know,
hand. Let me read it.
yeah, you might want to dip. But if they in their 20s and they starting to learn, they still haven't fully developed or grown yet, then and you realize that uh, he or she may not just have been you know, privy to be raised in that type of environment, because there are a lot of people right now that's not being raised in Christian type homes and not being taught that.
Mm-hmm.
Is that really, can we really
Yeah.
fault them, or can we say, hey, let me have a little grace, let me just, since they don't know, let me teach them, let me share with them, let me introduce it to them.
Do you think, let me ask you a question on that, Tony. Do you think it's more beneficial for a man towards a woman to be like that, or a woman towards a man, or is it the same? Because I feel like women are a little bit more moldable.
I don't know, because I've seen it both ways,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes women could cause men. I mean, men, we'll change some stuff for women, but we really love a woman, and a woman is respectful, treating us right, but we'll do some stuff for a woman, man. But will a woman do some stuff for a man?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they will, if they really love the man, they will do some stuff, because we've seen women go do, I mean, like you said, rob banks for a dude. Matter of fact, what's the girl got the song? Said she'll hide that firearm,
Scissor.
she'll
Scissor.
testify,
Scissor.
bro. Yeah.
I'm gonna
So
hide
it's some
the
women
body
out
for
here,
you.
yeah,
You're
hide
like,
the
wow.
body for you, all that, you know. So good morning, Loretta Bartlett. So yeah, bro, it's one of those things where, you know, I think it just depends on a person, their upbringing, and you know, preferences, you know, all that good stuff. But as it relates to unequally yoked, when you enter into any kind of relationship, and like I love the example you used yesterday, just having like going into business. You
Mm-hmm.
going into business with a partner, and this partner, and see, a lot of people don't even look at unequally yoked or yoked in terms of stuff like that. They only consider that to be in relationships. And like I said earlier, really from a religious context, marriage. That's when they start talking about yoked or unequally yoked. They don't look at other relationships. But when you talked about that business yesterday, and having a partner where you might be an ethical person and believe in doing stuff by the book, but then you got a partner that believes in cutting corners, you know, doing underhand stuff. Well, y'all gonna eventually butt heads and go to, oh, that's unequally
Yes.
yoked. because you guys are not on the same wavelength. You're not in alignment with each other. You're not in agreements. Even though you're a partnership that's going in two different directions.
You
And
lose
the
trust.
purpose of the yoke is to keep you in alignment, to keep you joined together, to keep you moving in the right direction.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, all right. So, the first couple of days we talked about mismatching faith and values, the core beliefs. We talked about spiritual maturity, which we just kind of touched on again. And then we have the impact on the relationships. We talked about that the lack of unity. Unequally yoked relationships often struggle with unity because the couple is pulling in different directions. Just said that, pulling in different directions, especially when it comes to spiritual goals and or priorities. Then there's conflict and strain. Fundamental disagreements about faith, values, and how to live life can lead to conflict, resentment, and a strain on the relationship. Um,
I
that could
got.
be in any kind of relationship.
Yeah. Let me say this, Tony. Like, just you sparking so many thoughts. I was just thinking about just like if you say you used to hang with a friend, used to go out, y'all party, y'all drink, and then it comes to a point in your life like, okay, I'm about to put down the bottle or whatever it is.
Maturity, growth.
Yeah. And that person, wherever you hanging with them, they want to come on, man, just toss it up. Come on, let's toast this up. You know what I mean? They want to buy bottles, want to drink. Now you got a decision to make. You know what I mean?
Bro,
And I,
so
am I
it's
going to continue to grow, mature, being around this individual? That's where gets hard. Where if you're gonna grow,
and what if that person is manipulative?
yeah, then it's
That now you're faced with another element, another layer of that whole yoke thing. Because we already, I see, because we're going in two different directions. I didn't put the bottle down, I'm moving it. And that's why it tell you had to cut off some friends sometimes. Some people you had to cut off in your life.
Yep.
That don't mean any good. It don't mean that you don't necessarily love them anymore, but I don't want to be a part of that foolishness no more. Monica had me watching a new series called The Hunter's Wives.
Yeah.
And there was this one lady in this thing called Margot. Margot was manipulating everybody, bro. I don't know what kind of power this woman had, but she was manipulating the women, all her friends. She was manipulating the husband, manipulating, man, everybody she came in contact with. A little young dude she was screwing, just manipulating everybody, bro.
Wow. I saw an episode.
Yeah, she was lit, bro. You need to watch it. It's crazy how this woman was manipulating everybody to get everybody to do what she wanted to do. And it was crazy because you mentioned about the friend. So this new girl moved to the community trying to fit in because her old life she had history in her old life. So she wasn't drinking, wasn't smoking, wasn't doing all this. But this hanging around Margot, she started drinking. She didn't believe in having guns and shooting a gun. She's hunting with Margot, buying guns, just all kinds of stuff, right? And it got her in so much trouble that, I mean, and she was stupid to the point that like she didn't know how to let she didn't know how to walk away from it. She just kept being drawn in. And I was like, what kind of voodoo hole do this woman have?
On all of them.
Yeah, all of them, yeah. So she that's a really good example of like really being unequally yoked in a relationship, but you just being a fool and sit around like, and I'm not gonna say Andrea was a fool, but she sat there for 5 years waiting on a person to change that she knew dang on well wasn't gonna change. Because he had showed her, and she gave this testimony before that he had showed her over and over again that he wasn't going to change, but she just kept believing it's something about him that he might change, and he never did. And so she finally walked away after 5 years, but that was 5 years she felt like of her life that she wasted.
Right.
And Phyllis said it was that scenario is why she asked the question about how many relationships have been overlooked. I guess she was talking about, because she said that one, and it could have been not. It could have been some other scenario. But anyway, but it causes conflict and strain on the relationship. You know, you start to have disagreements about little small stuff. Um, you know, and you start to develop that resentment in your relationship. We call it the gap. The gap get bigger, 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 and basically, you know, you're becoming more and more uh unequally yoked because you're definitely heading in different directions. You're on two different paths now, two different wavelengths. And Phyllis asked the question the other day. So can a relationship start off unequally yoked and become yoked? I think so. It's the same way a relationship can start off yoked and go to unequally yoked.
Yep, yep. We closed out yesterday. I had an example, a personal example I wanted to share where you can be believers, but you can still be unequally yoked as believers.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a scenario back when I was single and I was dating this young lady, and she was coming into church. She was going to church. She joined our church. You know, we was dating, and you know, she, you know, met my pastor and first lady. She became a member. She was in, and I was so into the church, man. I was, you know, I go to church. We'd be in there from like 9 to 2. And then I'd be coming back home, want to talk about the message. You know what I mean?
Right,
It was just how
right.
you be illuminated.
Yeah.
You know, everything in the word. Come on, talk about it. You know, what you think about this word? This was good. Man, I remember one time, this was, you know, a couple times, okay. But I remember one time we came back to my place. She ready to go do some other things, just, you know, some worldly things. And I'm over here talking about the word. And she just kind of like looking at me like, okay, let's do something else. And but I was
Can we
like,
get
I was
another
young,
conversation going?
you know what I'm saying? So I was so into the word. Man, this young lady didn't even break up with me in person. I remember the next day or the next, I had a note on my truck.
They
I
can't
went in
put a
looking
note
at
on your
this
truck.
note. This note said, it had a long note saying, you are really a true believer. She was like, she was like,
You were so righteous till you was right sick.
right. But it was genuine though. That's how I was feeling. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And she was like, "You're such a really good person. I don't think I'm on that level that you are, and I don't feel like, you know, that's not really something I want to be doing on a regular basis." She had
Oh,
all this long letter in here, man, and it was like said all this stuff about basically, you know, you're on a different levels, different path spiritually than I am. Man, I took that letter to my pastor. I showed them that letter, and they was like, "Well, you the wrong one for you." She was like, "Better now than later."
so did you?
Man, I was
Because
hurt.
you said
I
this
was
was
hurt at the
early on.
moment. Huh?
You said this was early on before you got married, right?
Right, right,
And
right.
this was early on in your spiritual journey. So did that make you did so over a period of time did that make your I don't want to say relationship, but did that make you the way you approached? Because it sounds like you were really new coming into
Yeah,
it, you was excited about it, and
just
then
got
that
filled with the Holy
excitement
Spirit.
kind of died down and wore off. You was like, okay, now let me do this in moderation and be so. Was it like that, or you just?
Man, at that time, I was hurt.
But I'm saying, like over a
Hey,
period of time, did you
I
learn
know.
like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
yeah,
matured in the Lord. You
yeah?
know how it is when you
So it
first.
wasn't like I'm throwing it in everybody's face. You know, I
Man, I
just know,
was
yeah,
telling everybody I came in contact with. You know, you know, we still talking about equally yoked. I was
yeah,
still playing ball at the time. And the Lord just came in, man. He
yeah.
changed my life. He illuminated me. I thought I was so illuminated. I thought animals could land on my hand. That's how I was gone.
You
I
were
was
like,
thinking,
I can just do this and the birds
yeah.
will land.
I'm
You
back
was
to
in
the
tune.
ark.
You was in
I'm back to
tune
the ark. I'm
with the
like, I
creator.
understand Noah. I was so gone, bro. But here it is, though. I remember even a friend of mine, like we used to have this 5 a.m. workout. I used to go pick up a friend of mine. He's like, look just like me, 6'9", big dude. We used to go work out for this one agent. And this guy I used to go pick him up. He'd be on the porch smoking weed. And I'd be like, put him in the car. But when the Lord came in, I was like, man, God real, man. I'm telling them, I told this brother all the way to one of our summer league games. This dude looked at me like, man, who is you? And I'm talking about God all the way to our summer league. This dude stuck his head out the window like, man, I don't want to no more. I was like, man, what's wrong with you, man? God real. It was like, but you know what? It had an impact on his life later on. But at the same time, we ended up separating as friends because he wanted to be out there smoking, do stuff that we used to do.
Right.
And go places we used to go. And I just like, man, I don't feel that no more. I don't want to do that. We ended up separating. We went to go in our separate ways. So it broke.
Right.
And but with the young lady it was just interesting that she was going to church and all of that, but it was just too much.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So she pulled away.
She definitely was not on the level you was on, because I mean I'm hearing it, and I probably would have been like, bro, you tripping. Okay, we get it. He good.
I was going to church, man. I couldn't. I don't know, man. It was just illuminated. It was just I never experienced that.
It's crazy because Pastor Bob, God rest his soul, used to always talk about how some people can be so righteous today, just right sings today. Everything is praise the Lord. Oh, I stumped my toe. Praise the Lord. Oh, I broke my hand. Oh, praise the Lord. He said, no, you ain't finna say. He said, because, well, but anyway,
I got one more, Tony.
But you ain't gonna say stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He was saying, just be real in your. It ain't nothing wrong with being real in your worship, but you know, sometimes we could be overkill.
Yeah, yep. But sometimes I don't be thinking them people real genuine with it either. They just giving a picture. I also had another situation at my apartment because everybody around me knew I was saved. And I never forget, it was a heavy set woman that stayed in my apartment. And she saw me bringing my Bible, going to my apartment, still single at the time. This woman was, when I say heavy set, no Sean, but this woman was probably about good 400 plus pounds when I say heavy set. And she was a believer. And she saw me, we ended up talking one day. She was talking about, maybe we can study the word. And I'm like, okay. I was like, in my mind, I was like, that's work. That's okay. That should be okay because I ain't really got no attraction. So I'm comfortable. Right. But I didn't know she had an attraction.
Right.
Man, we got in my apartment, we studying the Bible. Man, next thing I know, this woman making moves. And I'm like, oh, Lord. Man, my couch had this giant dent in it. Man, I'm just being real. I looked at my couch because I thought it was, I didn't have money back then, man. My couch wasn't a real couch. And she there broke my couch.
Bro, I can't even.
I had to separate from that because that was unequally yoked. I was like, nah, this ain't gonna work. But,
my God.
But it's different levels, even in your faith and your belief.
Yeah.
But
it is.
Yeah, you do mature.
So what you're talking about is the spiritual maturity. Even if both partners are believers, a significant difference in their spiritual maturity could cause issues. Commitment to their faith and how they live their beliefs can create an unequal yoke.
Amen, Rodney.
Yeah.
Facts.
He said you were too saved. Man, what? So then there's hindrance to spiritual growth. One partner's lack of faith or spiritual growth can hinder the other's spiritual journey and potentially lead them away from their faith. So you definitely don't want to be in a relationship where, and sometimes this is typical where the woman is in church, because it's way more women than men, but the woman could be saved in church, Christian or whatever, and the husband is not, or the mate is not, and then he talking her against the church to the point he's saying, you keep running down to that church, getting church your money and keep doing that, I'm leaving. Yeah. And then her faith is not strong enough to the point she said, well, you probably right, because I just seen maybe one thing that he done said came true, and she based her whole faith and foundation on that. And then she ended up walking away from the faith.
Man. And a woman has a lot of power on whether or not that man gets saved. I got a lot of examples, man. I saw some crazy in church. You know, there's a deacon, minister at church, and I never forget this woman. We used to have testimony service, and this lady, it was an elderly lady with an elderly man. They just got married, and this man would come to church. He wasn't really into the church, but he'll come with her out of respect. And this woman, I guess they had an argument or whatever. She get up and testify, talking about the devil is this and that. And matter of fact, I live with the devil. That's him right there in church during testimony service. We all looking around, and it was like that man just started smiling. Everybody looking at him, he just started smiling. But we couldn't believe this woman said this.
He didn't refute it.
Right.
You say he started smiling like, yeah, I'm the devil. That's me.
But we come to find out she had a whole lot of stuff she was doing. But I'm just saying, like, you can't do things like that if you really want to win, you know, the person that you with into the kingdom.
Right. So there are also here are some specific examples. Dating or marriage to an unbeliever. This is most commonly cited example of unequally yoked. When you just married to, we just talked about it, like, you know, you just told lady was the devil. He was an unbeliever. Different levels of spiritual commitment. That was you and your girl. One part may be deeply devoted to their faith and actively involved in church life, while the other may be lukewarm in their faith and only superficially involved.
Right.
That was you, my guy.
Yes.
And then another example, disagreements on morality and values. Differing views on issues like premarital sex, honesty, or how to handle conflict can also contribute to an unequal yoke. Now, we've been talking about like beyond the marriage part of it. So beyond marriage, the concept of being unequally yoked can also apply to other close relationships such as friendship, business partnership. We just said it. I hadn't read nothing on this list, y'all, because I wanted to keep it fresh for us.
Wow.
We didn't talk about this.
Yes.
So a lot of people always contribute being equally or unequally yoked to a marriage or relationship, particularly to a marriage, because of the faith part of it, faith-based part of it, and the core beliefs and values. But your core beliefs and values can extend beyond your faith. You know, your faith may contribute to your core beliefs and values, but your core beliefs and values can extend beyond your faith. And when you started to use your core values and your core beliefs and values into other areas of your life and aspects of your life, like maybe on the job, where, you know, it's something you need at home, and you don't have no pens at home, so you got a home office at home, so you're gonna steal a whole box of the company's pens to take to your house to supply your office.
Yep. It ain't nothing like being on a job and then you got to carry the load, and the other person you partner with don't hold up their part of it, but they want to get the same praise.
You know,
praise.
that teamwork thing is something else, man, because I used to always say I don't really like working in teams, because I felt that way, that it's always somebody or one or two people on the team that's carrying the load, and the other people sitting back doing nothing, and then they getting all the accolades, same accolades, you getting same praise, same bonuses, same everything, but they're not putting in the work. And then when you confront them about it, then it's, you took the lead, so hey, I just thought you wanted to do it, so I just let you do it.
Yep. Been there, done that.
Yeah. So, but that happens. So being yoked and unequally yoked goes beyond marriage and like, you know, relationships where you're intimate relationships. It goes way beyond that. So you definitely have to look at that in every aspect of your life, in your friendships, business partnerships, or even in family relationships. You know, when I hear families, and this is, you know, family for me is everything. Anybody know me know that.
Mhm.
Uh, and when I see families just not getting together, or just not being able to get together because of confusion or whatever, or I hear people say, you know, I don't mess with that side of my family. Oh boy, it burns me up, boy. It burned me, like something, because instead of saying I don't get along, that's my dad's side of the family. I don't get along with that side of the family. Like, why?
Mhm.
Why don't you get along with your dad's side of the family, your mama's side of the family? And when you talk to them and you ask them that, it's because, well, they think they better than me. Their
Mhm.
side of the family is bougie. You ever heard that?
Right, right.
They think cause they got a little something. Now you think cause they got a little something, they think
Mhm.
they better than you.
Yep.
And that's a lot of times that's what it is, you
Mhm.
know. And them people over there they ain't even know you got an issue with them. They
Mhm.
didn't know you don't come around.
Yep. And then sometimes when people put in an environment that will make them stretch,
Mhm.
make them
Uncomfortable.
look at themselves,
Yeah. Make them
it
uncomfortable.
changes.
Yeah.
Because this person more than likely came from the same place you came, but they doing something different. I'll be
Mhm.
honest, man. I got a family member that I love dearly. So talented, man. He talented. You know, I'm careful to even say his name on here because, but anyway, this brother got artist skills. He got all types of skills. But here I am. I'll never forget, man. Here I am playing basketball. You know, I got a whole scholarship, which means a lot. I remember coming to Memphis, hanging with him, and this dude went to go somewhere, go pick up somebody, and he pulls over while I'm in the car with him. He pulls over and jumps in somebody else's car to steal something, try to steal something. He wasn't able to get in, and pulls and gets back in the car smiling and pulling off. And I'm looking at him like, bro, I was like, man, cuz, what is you doing? You know what I mean? I was like, you putting me in a whole crazy situation. That ain't funny. You know what I'm saying? What if something went down and we get arrested? Now I'm
Oh,
out
you
here
just get shot.
or shot. Now I'm out here on the news or whatever, looking
Right.
like I'm out here stealing stuff, and I ain't even know what you're doing. I'm just in the car. You just jumped out. You know what I mean? Should I hang around that individual? That's unequally yoked.
Yeah.
I had to kind
Yeah.
of watch how I dealt with
Right.
it.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro.
You know, just randomly.
Yeah, first of all, I ain't even going.
Right,
uh, I'm going off when you get back in the car for
man. I
sure.
went crazy. I was like, man, and he felt, he thought he was being cool,
Yeah.
trying to impress me.
And you
And
like,
I'm
bro,
like, bro,
I ain't about that life.
at all, not a bit. Like, man,
I ain't about that life.
come on, man.
Oh man.
I can't
So
imagine how many people just talking about that. So I can't imagine how many people been caught in them situations.
it's a lot.
And
It's a lot of people doing time right now, being in
yeah,
the wrong place at the wrong time.
right.
I had
And
a
didn't
cousin.
know it.
I had a cousin did 18 years because he was with a couple of guys and they robbed a lady and killed the lady, and he was with them, and he got 18 years
Mm,
because he was with them.
mm.
Did 18 years of his life because he was with them. He
Wow.
probably could have got out before then, but he was in there with some other stuff.
That's a perfect example of being unequally
Yeah,
yoked and you need to separate.
yeah, you need to separate.
Yeah.
You know, just because they your homeboys or your homegirls don't mean that you should approve of everything they do. And if you don't approve and they going in a different direction, separate yourself from them. Say, I love y'all, but I can't get down with this no more.
Come
I'm gonna
on.
separate myself from y'all.
And Tony, I feel this in my spirit, man. And I'm just saying, I know I laugh and joke, but I was up here praying this morning that something be said, and I feel it in my spirit right now. I ask God to let something be said, and I feel like it's somebody out there that's listening that needs to separate from somebody right now that's going to take them the wrong way. And if you already had that in your heart that you need to separate from this individual, I just feel it in my spirit to tell you right now, separate from them. Move. It's for your betterment, for your good. get out of that situation. Is unequally yoked means something. This is real. So I just want to get that off me.
I touch and agree with you, bro.
Mm, mm,
If you are out there and
mm,
it fits you, what he just said
mm,
fits what you're in, or
mm.
fits what you're going through, separate yourself. You know, we can't continue to allow people to good morning, Lavelle. We can't continue to allow people that we care about to manipulate our lives to the point where it's putting us in volatile situations. It's putting us in situations of detriment, that in harmful situations,
Mm.
or just stunting our growth. It
Yes.
might not be necessarily putting us in a harmful situation, but it's just keeping us from growing personally and developing into somebody. Uh, no, bro, that's a choice.
Hmm.
That's easier said than done. No, that's a choice. It's just like I tell people all the time. There are people who are procrastinators,
Mm-hmm.
and I've never been one to procrastinate. If I say I want to stop doing, like when we stop eating meat, I just stopped cold turkey. I said I ain't gonna say we're gonna stop eating meat next week, or in the month of March, March the 1st, we're gonna stop eating meat. But that's how people do with New Year's resolution.
Mm.
This year, I'm gonna start doing that at the first of the year. I'm gonna stop that, stop that, stop that. I'm gonna start doing that, and then you never getting around to do it. Just do it.
Yeah.
That get out of that procrastination mindset and just do it.
Just do it.
That
Yeah.
I really believe that's why Nike came up with that slogan, "Just do it,"
Mm-hmm.
because there's so many people procrastinate about things. You procrastinate about, hey, going to school. I want to go to school, but you know what? Oh, I want to write a book. Just gonna wait. What you waiting for?
Mm-hmm.
You wait 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5. Then 10 years later, after everybody else wrote a book, or somebody else wrote a book, I had started to write a book 10 years ago.
Just do
Shoulda,
it.
coulda, woulda.
Yep. Yep.
That there was
That frame might not change.
there was a moment in that series I was telling y'all about, the Hunter's Wives, where the guy, something happened, and this Margot lady, she said, hey, don't worry about the shoulda, coulda, wouldas.
Uh-huh.
And that's what I'm telling you. Don't the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. Just do it.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to go back to school, I don't care if you 6 or 7. If you want to go back to school. If you want to, now I've seen people go through life, man. It was a what's the lady now? I can't think of her name. Man, that lady was had went through life and struggled in life, man, and decided she wanted to become a medical doctor,
Mm.
and went and did it. Yeah, it's definitely a mindset.
Yes.
And if your mindset is on one of those lazy type of procrastination type of mindsets, you ain't gonna never do nothing.
At
That's
all.
why. Oh, thank you. That's why what you said. When you go around people, like when we talk about the family members, and you go around family members that got more than what you got, they probably came from the same space you came from,
Mm-hmm.
same background, same space, but because they chose to do something different with their life, they chose to maybe go to school, do this, do that, and got a good job, and now they have, and then you come around them, and it makes you uncomfortable because you don't have, because you're unwilling to do what they willing to do.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Lavelle said it takes 30 days to create a habit, and you've been with this person 10 years or more, especially when it comes to women. What that got to do
Yeah.
with,
I'm trying to understand that.
yeah, because we're talking about like procrastination. Like, oh, I guess he's saying if a person has been with somebody 10 years and you
Yeah.
saying, hey, you in a situation, yeah, that you can walk away from. I mean, if the so I'm gonna say this, and I know he just using that for an
Like a
example.
huge habit.
If the person was in the relationship for 10 years, just like Andrea. Andrea said she was in the relationship for 5 years. She knew the dude wasn't gonna change, but she wanted him to change.
Mm-hmm.
And so she eventually walked away after 5 years. She wasted 5 years of her life. But what Marcus is saying, hey, I done prayed this morning. I feel you. Somebody's dealing with this same situation we talking about, where you in somebody, you in a relationship, whether it's a friendship, you friend with somebody, and they causing you to get off your square, to do some things you're uncomfortable with doing, and get out of that situation. So you're gonna let somebody drag your life down, or you're gonna get out of the situation. And if this confirmation, and he's saying that you already know and you've been contemplating this is your confirmation to walk away from that situation.
Yes.
Yeah, walk away from the situation. Look, again, it's a mindset. So you can say 30 days, it takes 30 days to create a habit. I've been eating meat for 50 years and I walked away cold turkey.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so
like Monica said, it's a mindset.
It's a mindset, bro. And yeah, I've been eating meat 50 years, but it's a mindset, bro. When I made up my mind that I didn't want to do that no more, boom.
Mm-hmm.
When Monica made up her mind, we talking about yesterday, you know, how sometimes, you know, we date women or be married to women and they have kids and gain weight. And Monica said yesterday she had got up to, what she said, 300 pounds, whatever. When Monica made up her mind that she didn't feel like walking around at 300 pounds, what did Monica do? I'm going to do something about it. Now Monica is way below 300 pounds.
300, dang,
Somebody
Monica, 300?
Yeah. My son told her the other day she disappeared. But she made up in her mind that I no longer want this and I want this healthier lifestyle. And she made up in her mind to do it. So it's a mindset. So when you have, you can say, yeah, well, I've been with this person 10 years and it just ain't easy to walk away. Well, that's your mindset. So you're gonna continue to stay in that mess because you don't want to walk away because you've been there for 10 years. Yeah. That's why people was that you yesterday said that somebody you knew had been married for 50 years and then they got a divorce, or was that somebody on somebody's company?
Somebody else.
It might have been Fluker then. I think Fluker said he knew somebody that was married for 50 some years and then they got a divorce. That's one of those things where we saying, I'm just gonna stay on in it. They marriage been over. Do you think they marriage just ended at 50 after 50 years of marriage? No, that marriage been over. He been sleeping in a different room from her. He had his own room. They been doing their own thing. They just finally said, you know what? Let me just, enough is enough. Kids grown, grandkids grown. Hell, let me just go.
I see Monica.
Don't do too much good.
What the hell saying?
I'm not disagreeing, but also when I had came off the red meat, Tony, you said you couldn't do it. That was my mindset at that time. But then when I made up my mind that, oh, I'm gonna leave meat altogether alone, I did a cold turkey. So it's a mindset. At that time, when you talking about red meat, boy, I was eating me a steak. I was going to the Texas Roadhouse eating me a steak. Shoot, at least once or twice a month, getting me a good steak.
I know when I went meatless, when I went vegan, I felt the best ever. I did it for 8 months. That's the best I ever felt.
And so we did it for March. Let me see. So that's been like a month, a year, and probably a year and 3 or 4 months. And then I finally had craving. I succumbed to my craving for some ribs. And I said, I gotta get me some ribs. You know, but I still can cut it off whenever I want to.
Yeah.
I don't have to have ribs every day. I don't have to have ribs once a month. I just whenever I just get the craving, I just go get them. if I want them or not want them, you know. So it's you can do it. You can you can do whatever you set your mind to doing. I don't never want to use the crutch that about it creates a habit. You can't break a habit. It's people that been on drugs 30 years, walked away from drugs. Do they still have the craving for drugs? Absolutely. But they mind saying, I don't want to go back to that dark place that I was in.
Same thing with women. There be men that sleep around for a long time. They come to a point, that's enough.
Yeah, and then when they start to get in new relationships and they recognize a pattern of behavior or something triggers them, they said, no. I didn't seen that before. Now, don't pray about that situation too, because sometimes I think women still be or they jump back into relationships too quick and they don't be always healed. And so everything that a man does that remind them it could just remind them other person. They'll be like, no. Then you could be blocking pushing a good dude. I've seen so many of them Hallmark movies, man, where my mom can watch them Hallmark movies and stuff. I've seen so many of them movies where this situation played out, where they was with a guy, he hurt him and did him wrong, and then this new guy comes along, this knight in shining armor comes along, and he may do one thing that resembles him of that man, not the action, but just resembles. And she was like, no. And then she pushes him away. And then everybody's like, that's a good man. You're pushing away a good man. And then she, you know what? I was just hurt in the past. I've seen 100,000 of them Hallmark movies.
Yeah. We got any tea, Tony?
Yeah. Let me clock that tea, man. Because that was the last of my. But this last thing was
okay.
Counsel. It is important to seek God's guidance and wisdom when considering entering into or navigating a relationship that may be unequally yoked. In essence, being unequally yoked signifies a fundamental mismatch in core beliefs and values that can create significant challenges and potential harm within a relationship. Lavelle said, I'm not saying this excuse an example of why it makes it hard to stop and move forward. That's an excuse. Your mind is a powerful thing. Some people are just stuck on stupid, and no matter what their mindset won't change. Yeah, absolutely. And that's a mindset. That's a thing that you don't want to change. Yeah. So for me, that's an excuse. You don't want to change. You just, you use up all these excuses of why you can't change. But anyway, let's clock that tea with our girl Clean. Why we ain't clocked it in 3 days. I've been trying to get to the tea.
Good morning.
Got them eyebrows on.
Time it is. Put them phones down, fingers up. It's time to clock that tea with your girl Queen Watkins. I hope y'all are having an amazing morning. But y'all know what time it is. It's time to clock that tea. Have y'all seen the story of the mother that's going viral, y'all, because she had to call the police on her son? Yeah, let's talk about it. So the internet is going crazy. And of course, being very judgmental towards this single mom that had to call the police on her son. Let's get into it. So she made a video and she was just basically saying, you guys are basically judging me and I don't even know what's going on. Don't know exactly why I called the police and whooped the bam. So she ended up showing a small snippet of some of the things that happened in her home. And so on this video, she was recording her son, basically telling him to get out her room. Like, get out of my personal space. I ain't going nowhere. I ain't doing nothing. Oh, I would have grabbed him by his dress. Do you hear me, baby? Let's continue. So he just being rude. And she was telling him, if it was a man here, you wouldn't be doing this. And he gonna agree and say, yeah, you right. See, that's the problem. That's the issue. Is young men like that's growing up to be grown men that'll put their hands on a woman, but won't put their hands on a man. The weakness. But let's continue. So she was continuing to record and let him know, like, you being rude, you being disrespectful, get out of my space, whoop the bam. So old boy grabbed her phone out of her hand, like you could tell that he was tussling it, getting her phone, and he ran. So she was just like, give me my phone, give me my phone. And I didn't have it. I don't have anything. So she ended up calling the police on him because he wasn't listening. This boy is bigger than her, and she was afraid. So she called. I mean, that's why they say it takes a village, right? You would think, like, where is the dad, right? With him acting like this didn't happen overnight. Or where's the grandfather? Or where's the uncle? Or somebody that's gonna punch him in his chest if you want. You know what I'm saying? When he doing too much. But so she ended up doing the best thing she knew was to call the police. Now he got out, and when he got out, he didn't got in his mama phone and hacked all of her accounts. Just doing some roguish stuff for real to your own mom, the person that birthed you, right? So do I know the full backstory of how all this stuff got started? No. Do I know that as a mother, you gotta learn how to be the disciplinary as well as their friend? You can't just be their friend as they growing up, because when they grow up and see that you not gonna punch them in the chest, pop them in the mouth, grab them dreads, you know what I'm saying? When you get a little disrespectful, he's gonna catch on to that. And the older he gets, the worse it gets. Not just this child, but the older the child gets, the worse it's gonna get if you don't put your foot down. Now, am I blaming the mother? I'm not. She's a single mom. Maybe she's just tired. Oh boy, he's supposed to be listening anyway. The child's supposed to listen regardless, right? To adults. Long as the adult ain't telling them do no wrong stuff, which your mom is probably not gonna do that, you listen. So old boy wasn't. So he got a charge, and he should have. They probably should have made him sit down a little bit longer. Since she ain't making him sit down here, the police should have made him sit down. But all in all, people that are judging her, give her a helping hand. Become her village, since folks got so much to say. All right, y'all, that's all the tea that I have today. Make sure y'all tune in to 2 Minute Hats, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. sharp. And don't forget to stay tuned for your girl, Queen Watkins. Clock that tea. Y'all, November will be here in no time. Please send in your donation for the tents, y'all. This is such an amazing event, and you definitely should want to be a part. Period. Y'all have a blessed day. Bye.
Yeah, second annual tents for the homeless. Man, when I tell you these tents have been rolling in, I'm gonna tell y'all what happened the other day. So I've been ordering tents, I've been ordering sleeping bags, I've been ordering backpacks. I've just been ordering stuff, right? I guess I've been ordering so much stuff, man, that Temu messed around and gave me $100 credit. I took that whole $100 credit last night when I saw that $100 credit. Actually, it was like $104. I went on there and ordered some more tents. Mother's like, you could have ordered me some Spanx. I was like, girl, I ordered some tents. I ordered some more tents. So we got tents galore coming in. But awesome. Hey, we still need your help. These are just tents that Lavelle and I been purchased with our 2 Minute Hats account, and me personally buying tents. Shout out to Barry Henderson, who has sent already I don't know how many tents, like 2 or 3 tents, a couple of few sleeping bags that he sent. So shout out to him for that. We really appreciate that. And those of you who, we got that Cash App ticker going across the bottom, man. If you want to give. We want to make this be a major event. Last year we had close to like 90, almost, close to 100 tents. And we want to double that number this year in tents. And we definitely want to have a lot of sleeping bags and backpacks, and we joint venture with our church, who's going to actually do toiletries, like personal care items. So we just want to make sure, man. And last year, man, we had T Street that joined us too, and she did like the snack bags. She did snack bags. So if we got anybody out there that's like a caterer or something, and you want to do snack bag, you don't necessarily have to cater to food unless you want to cater some food. But if you want to do like maybe some snack bags or something like that to help us out, hey, we appreciate whatever help. If you want to be a sponsor, let us know. If you just want to donate, whatever, man, we need donors, sponsors, all of it, man, to help this effort become even bigger than last year. And this is an annual event that we're going to continue to do as long as we have this homeless problem issue in the city of Memphis. We're going to continue to do it. So thank you guys, the ones that have given already, and the ones that are gonna give. We're speaking into existence. The ones that are gonna give.
Do you
I think
get these, Tony? Do you get these?
Yeah, if we have them available,
okay.
In your size for sure. I definitely yeah. But you got to be local because I'm not gonna be. You're gonna send me $20 and then I get to send you a $25 shirt. Now your gift got to be at least $50 for you to get something. Yeah, make it wild, make it work. At least $50. All right, thank you guys for tuning in, man. These last 3 days, man, and I hope we have learned a lot because we kind of unpeeled some different levels and layers of this thing, man. Talking about being unequally yoked or equally yoked. And there's a lot that we unpacked in these last 3 days, and hope you guys have gotten something that can make your life a lot better, or at least you can recognize when in situations where maybe the situation is unequally yoked or it's equally yoked, and you can build from it. Or even if it's unequally yoked, and you can turn that thing around and say, hey, well, we're going in 2 different directions. Let's figure out how we can get on the same page so we can be equally yoked and move in the right direction.
Yes, sir.
So thank you guys again. Appreciate you, Marcus, for tuning in the last 3 days. I do not know what our topic is going to be tomorrow. I don't know. But I do know next week, all next week, viewers' discretion is advised. My ticker that's going to be running across the bottom is going to say viewers' discretion is advised. So if you are a person that tunes in and your kids on the way to school with your kids, you might want to take it off speakerphone and just have the phone up to your ear, or get you some headphones or something, because this is not going to be for children. This is going to be parental. I'm going to have parental advisory. Viewers' discretion is advised. Because we're going to talk all next week about sexual sex in relationships all next week. And I wish I could find like a sex therapist or something that could come on and talk to. I may have to look up and see if I can find one, but all next week. And so I'm gonna put the screen up if you guys next week, if you guys want to jump on and just give your quick little input of you got a story you want to tell, where you'll be able to jump on and do that just like Marcus came on all week. You know, I don't want you to come on and stay all day, but you can come on, tell your story, especially if it's something that you can't type a lot. It's a long thing. You don't want to type it. I just want to hop on and say it. You know, you'll be more than welcome to do so. The next couple of days, we'll probably take it a little light the next couple of days, since next week is gonna be crazy. It's gonna be real, as Monica says. It's gonna be real. So it's gonna be real next week. So Marcus, you welcome to join us next week if you have time. You're more than welcome. I know you be having scenarios and situations, and but you might not have no personal testimonies. You may want to talk.
Viewer discretion is advised.
Viewer's discretion is advised. That's all I'm saying. So, and we're gonna try to keep it within our hours, because we every day. I got a different question every day, and if you're a person that you may be embarrassed to talk about these type of things, you might not want to tune in. But I let me say this.
Well, listen.
If you're a person that is in a relationship and maybe having issues from a sexual standpoint, if you're in a marriage or if you're engaged, and because we want to talk about this in a healthy way, if that makes sense. I know you probably saying,
ain't no viewer discretion advised at the bottom. I see Cash App, but
yeah, it's gonna be viewers discretion.
Something I want to say, but I think I'm gonna hold it.
Yeah. Well, hold it. Because it's you're gonna have all the opportunity next week to say what you got to say about it. And so we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna try to make it as healthy as possible to help people, not just we don't want you getting off the phone, going in there, grabbing your toy and going to work.
Yeah.
That's not what this is about. We want to be able to talk about it in a healthy light and fun. I want to make it fun too.
Yes.
I want to make it fun. I want to talk about it because this is a thing that couples it's like a forbidden she said, hold your personal testimony. It's like a forbidden thing.
Got a
You
lot.
know what I'm saying? That couples don't talk about. And a lot of couples are suffering because they too embarrassed to talk about it, or they don't want to embarrass their mate, or whatever the situation may be. But it can lead to a healthier relationship. So we're gonna talk about it next week, man. So we'll see you guys in the morning, man. Let us pray. God, we thank you for this day. We thank you for allowing us to be able to talk about just being unequally yoked and being equally yoked, oh God. We pray now that what we said this week, these last 3 days, hadn't fallen on deaf ears, that we can take what we've learned and apply it to our life situations, oh God. We pray now for every person listening and viewing, oh God, that you would grant them their heart's desire, that if they're in situations, oh God, where they are unequally yoked, God, that you would either allow them the patience or grant them the wisdom and courage to be able to communicate about whatever the issue is with their mate or partner, or whatever that relationship is, oh God, that you would grant them the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to be able to confront it and talk through it, oh God. We pray now for Marcus and his family, Vale and his family, Dunn, as she go back to the eye doctors, oh God, to see what's going on with her eyes, oh God. We ask that you would fix the situation, oh God. Whatever it is, we know that you can heal. And we ask that you to heal, deliver, and set free right now in the name of Jesus. God, we thank you. We love you. Look on my family, oh God. Continue to bless us in a special way, like only you can do. Look on Queen and her family, Lord. Continue to bless her. Continue to allow her to bring us that tea, oh God. And we thank you. We love you. It's in Jesus' name that we pray and ask these things. Thank God and amen. We will see you guys tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad place. 2 Men in Hats.
See ya.
About it.
It's the 2 Minute Hats podcast with your host with the most, Tony and Lavelle, every morning from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. We also have Queen Watkins with Clock Dead P. Tune in with us and have a great time. Let's talk about it right here. 2 Minute Hats podcast.